Sup peeps, welcome back to the All Cats Everything and Then Some podcast. I got a special New Year's edition of my podcast today. I'm your host, Deshaun. Now, as you can see, I don't have no Kentucky Blue on today. Yes, I know we did just beat Missouri, but I gotta represent for my Tennessee Titans today. Why? Because we got a big matchup today against the New England Patriots. Now, I believe we can beat the Patriots, but it's not going to be easy. Yes, I know the Patriots, they got Tom Brady. He's got 6 rings. He's won the most playoff games. Blah, 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 blah. But these ain't the Patriots of old. These ain't the Patriots that we're used to seeing. I could be wrong, but this Patriots team does not look like a team that's going to make it to the Super Bowl and win it. Yes, they still have Tom Brady, but their offense is not as explosive as they used to be. Their defense, while it is good, they do struggle against the really good teams in the league, especially teams that have running quarterbacks like the Ravens. So the Patriots, yeah, they're going to have their work cut out for them today. They might beat us, but it's not going to be easy. I believe the Titans can pull this off if a few things happen. Number one, if Tannehill has a good game, we can win. Now, he doesn't have to go out there and throw for 400 yards. He doesn't have to throw 4 touchdown passes. But as long as he can control the tempo, not fumble, don't throw any interceptions, our offense should move just fine. Another factor that will help us win is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, he finished the season first in carries, first in rushing yards, first in rushing touchdowns. Derrick Henry, best running back we've had since Chris Johnson, who was a beast when he played for the Titans, had 2,000 yards in his second season, set the NFL record, or actually broke the NFL record for most all-purpose yards in a season. Probably won't make it to the Hall of Fame, but hopefully one of these days Chris Johnson will be in the Titans Hall of Fame. Now, if Derrick Henry can go out there and run for 150 yards, there's a good chance we'll win today, because when Derrick Henry plays great, 9 times out of 10 we win. When the offense is rolling, defense, it makes things easier for our defense. Now, excuse me, the defense can get pressure on Brady, force him into some turnovers, and the offense clicks. We'll beat the Patriots. And then we'll have to play, I don't know, Chiefs or the Ravens, and whoever it might be. All I know is if we do beat the Patriots, it's not going to get any easier from there. But I'm not looking ahead. I'm only taking things one game at a time. So go out there, beat the Patriots, and worry about our next opponent next week. Now, like I mentioned before, Kentucky won earlier today against Missouri. Now, it wasn't the best game that we played. It seems like every time we play against Missouri, it's an ugly win. I don't know what it is about Missouri, but Missouri always makes things rough for us. We did end up winning the game 71-59, which is a 12-point victory, but it wasn't an easy win by any means. Nick Richards scored our first 9 points. We struggled in the opening minutes of the game, but as the game rolled along, we got our shit together and we pulled out a victory against Missouri. Now, one of the big stat that stood out to me from this game is that we went, I think, 27 of 30 from the 3-point line. The reason why that stands out is because historically, during the Calipari era, we haven't had good free throw shooting teams. But this team is really damn good at shooting free throws. I believe as a team, we shoot like 85% from the free throw line, which is great. Emmanuel Quickley is automatic from the free throw line. He makes 90% of his. Speaking of Emmanuel Quickley, he had a great game too. He had 24 points. I think he hit 4 threes, and he hit 9 free throws on the game. He also made some defensive stops. He was probably our best player today, along with Nick Richards, who had 22, I believe. Yeah, 22, 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Now, he did foul out, but overall, it was still a good game. Now, if you would have told me 3 years ago that Nick Richards would be one of our key players to potentially win a championship, I would have looked at you like you're crazy. Because Nick Richards, I mean, truth be told, Nick Richards was not good his freshman year. He wasn't much better his sophomore year either, but this year he's played great whenever we needed him to. He's really put it together and come on as a basketball player. Played great against Louisville. He played great again today against Missouri. Now, as long as he doesn't stay out of foul trouble, as long as he can give us a consistent double-double, we should be fine going forward. Ashton Hagans, he also had a great game. He had 7 points, 7 assists, and he also chipped in 5 rebounds. Hagans, this is now 10 straight games where Ashton Hagans had 6 or more assists. Unfortunately, Ashton Hagans got hurt today against Missouri, but the good thing is it's not something too serious. Now, it was a non-contact injury. He was grasping for his foot. My fear was that he tore his Achilles, which that would have killed our season if Ashton Hagans would have tore his Achilles, because he's our best playmaker. He's our best defender out there on the perimeter. If Kentucky is going to be a Final Four team, we need Ashton Hagans healthy. Thankfully, though, he didn't tear his Achilles. It was just an ankle sprain. Now, my belief is we should just let Ashton Hagans sit our next game. Our next game is against Georgia on Tuesday. I don't know how serious his injury is, but just let him sit. I mean, if we lose to Georgia, it's not the end of the world. Now, I'm not one of those Kentucky fans. Well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't throw Kentucky under the bus like that, because it's not just the Big Blue Nation. Alabama fans, Patriots fans, they're other fans of teams who expect to always be in the running for a championship. It's like some of y'all can never be satisfied. Now, that ain't me. I'm not one of those fans who always find something to complain about even after we win. Now, it may not have been the best win today against Missouri, but we still pulled out a 12-point win. We still played great, still made the plays when we needed them. Anyways, back to Hagans. Just let him sit. If we lose to Georgia, it's not the end of the world. It's only 4 losses. I would rather us be healthy going into the NCAA tournament than to risk Ashton Hagans' health against Georgia just to get a victory and he gets hurt even worse. Now, yes, Georgia is actually pretty good this year. They got the same record as Kentucky, 10-3. But because they haven't really beat any quality opponents, they're not ranked. I mean, if they beat us, yeah, that'll put them in the rankings. But yeah, beating Georgia's not going to be easy. They got that star shooting guard, Anthony Edwards. Now, I was really hoping he would have came to Kentucky. I believe he was the number 2 player in the high school senior class after James Wiseman, but he chose Georgia instead. Chose Georgia over Kentucky as well as Florida State. Anthony Edwards quietly has had a pretty good freshman year. Most people don't realize how good he is because he plays for Georgia. Now, I believe Edwards will leave Georgia after his freshman year and maybe the number 1 pick, but it also depends on who has the number 1 pick. Like, if it's the Warriors, per se, I don't think Golden State's going to draft Anthony Edwards because they got Stephen Curry, they got Klay Thompson. I mean, it's not like a guard is another need for the Warriors. So, depending on who gets that number 1 pick, Anthony Edwards might go number 1 overall. That's all I'm saying. Also, got to give a shout out to Kentucky football. First of all, 4-star player Vito Tisdale, who was in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, committed to Kentucky today. He chose Kentucky over Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, and I believe Oklahoma was one of his choices too. Now, the reason why this signing is so significant is because Vito Tisdale is from my hometown, Bowling Green, Kentucky. He went to my old high school, Bowling Green High. Now, obviously, we weren't classmates. He's a senior. I'm 30 years old here. But anytime an athlete from Bowling Green, from the city of Bowling Green, whether it's Bowling Green High School, Greenwood High, Warren Central, whatever, anytime an athlete from Bowling Green signs a letter of intent to go and play college ball, I'm happy for him. I mean, I want to see everybody succeed. I mean, yes, sometimes I can be a hater, like I hate Louisville, hate Duke, blah blah blah. But I don't want to. I just want to see people succeed. You know what I mean? And I'm happy for Vito. Hopefully, Mark Stoops can develop him and get him to the NFL and represent for be a great representation for the Bowling Green Purples. Vito, been following him since he was a freshman at Bowling Green High. He's a pretty good football player. He's great safety. He's a ball hawk. Anytime he intercepts the ball, he's a threat to score a touchdown or get the ball into at least the opponent's territory. He can function as a running back and be he can be a runner. He can return kicks. He brings a lot of versatility. Hell, he might get a lot of playing time his freshman year. Who knows? Maybe even be a starting safety. But I guess it depends on who we got returning, who else is in the recruiting class with him. But I'm really excited to see little Vito play for Kentucky. Represent for the Purples, Vito. You got this. Also, I got to mention, Kentucky won the Belk Bowl Tuesday against Virginia Tech. Now, I know it's the Belk Bowl. I get it. The Belk Bowl is just another participation trophy. I get that. But it's still a big win. Anytime you can go to the postseason and you win, that's good. I mean, it may not have been the national championship, but at least we played in a bowl game. At least we had this opportunity. I mean, there are some schools out there who didn't even get to a bowl game. So, I mean, although it would have been nice to play in a better bowl game, I mean, I'm happy we won. I mean, Kentucky, we're not really known for football. So, for Kentucky to go out there and beat a Virginia Tech team who historically is kind of good at football, that's a big win for us. Lynn Bowden, again, had another great game against Virginia Tech. He had over 200 yards rushing. He also threw a touchdown pass. Now, I didn't actually see the game because I was at work, but in between breaks, I was following it on my phone. It was a back and forth battle the whole game. And then at the end of the game, we was at the goal line. Virginia's thinking we're about to run, but Lynn Bowden was like, gotcha. Threw a pass to Josh Ali. Touchdown. We go up 31-30. Virginia Tech tries a last-second play, fumbled the ball. Jordan Wright picks it up, scores. Kentucky ends up winning 37-30. We finished the season 8-5. We won a bowl game again. 4 years in a row, Kentucky has went to a bowl game. We won 2. Kentucky football is trending in the right direction. As long as we got Mark Stoops, we will be competitive in football. We ain't pushovers no more. Now, I'm not saying Kentucky's going to go out there and win a national championship. I'm not saying Kentucky's going to go out there and beat Auburn, Alabama, or anything like that. But as long as Mark Stoops is here, Kentucky will be competitive. Kentucky won't be an easy win going forward for anybody in the SEC. Next year, with our recruiting class coming in, with the players we got returning, it should be another great year. As long as we don't have any injuries, we should go 9-3. Hell, maybe even 10-2. All I know is I just hope we beat Tennessee next year. I'm tired of being close but not being able to pull it out. We almost beat Tennessee this year, but Tennessee was one of the few teams this year that was able to figure out how to stop us. You know, it's crazy to me how we ran the same play pretty much every game with Lynn Bowden starting quarterback. Wildcat, quarterback option, sweep left, sweep right, or just run up the middle. But yet teams couldn't stop it. I mean, Tennessee was the only team that could figure us out. I don't know how they did it, but I'm glad Virginia Tech couldn't stop us because we would have lost that bowl game. And some of the Big Blue Nation who always complaining about something would have been like, man, I can't believe we lost that bowl game. We need to fire Mark Stoops. Anyways, good job, Kentucky football. Can't wait till next year. It's going to be a great season. All right, y'all. I don't have any shout-outs today. Instead, I got a countdown for you. Now, this isn't just a new year. This is also a new decade. We're no longer in the 2010s. Now we're in 2020. This countdown I got for you is my top 10 sports moments of the 2010s decade. Now, after you listen to mine, feel free to post yours. Like, don't just watch my videos, comment on them. I'm curious to know what y'all think. And don't just listen to me talk. I mean, I want to know what y'all think. So that way we can have a back and forth, a friendly discussion about this. So, anyways, let's jump into this countdown, shall we? At number 10, for my biggest... Now, these are just my moments. I'm not saying these are the best. I'm not saying you should agree with me. And this is just what I think were the biggest moments of the 2010s decade. Number 10, UMBC defeats Virginia in the 2018 NCAA tournament. Now, UMBC stands for the University of Maryland at Baltimore County, I think. I don't know. Now, you're probably wondering, like, what's so significant about that? Well, UMBC was a 16th seed. Virginia was the number 1 seed. Never, let me repeat that, never has a number 16 seed beat a number 1 seed. Ever since the NCAA tournament used to only be like 10 teams, I believe. Now it's 64 teams. Ever since they expanded to 64 teams, no 16 seed has ever beat a number 1 seed. I think the stat was number 16 seeds were 0 for 161. Until 2018, UMBC beat Virginia. Now, they didn't just win on a last-second shot. They dominated Virginia. They beat them 74-54. Now, of course, Virginia would go on to make it to the NCAA tournament in 2019 and win the championship. But Virginia will still have that place in history as being the first 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed. Number 9, Kentucky beats Louisville for the 2nd year in a row in football. Now, of course, why is this significant? Well, this is the 2019 is the 2nd year in a row that Kentucky has beat Louisville in football. But the significance of this is the first time in the history of the Kentucky-Louisville rivalry that either school has beat the other school 2 years in a row in both football and in basketball. Now, I gotta say, that's not bad for what Louisville fans say is a one-sport school. Man, according to the Louisville fans, Kentucky's only good at basketball, but, I mean, we beat y'all in football and basketball 2 years in a row. I mean, we control the rivalry in basketball, and we've won in football. We beat Louisville more times in football than they beat us. So, I mean, who's really the one-sport school, huh? I mean, y'all can call us a one-sport school if you want to, but we're the ones that's leading the rivalry. So, whatever helps you feel better. Number 8, Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his final game. Now, why is this significant? Well, no player has ever scored more points in their last game than Kobe Bryant. Now, of course, yeah, his teammates were feeding him the ball willingly. It took 50 shots, I believe, but he still got the 60, and the Lakers got the win. Now, me personally, I mean, I'm not a Lakers fan. I don't like them. I'm not really a Kobe fan either, but I got nothing but respect for Kobe. And for him to go out and break a record in his last game, that's awesome, man. Definitely deserving the top 10 in my book. Number 7, LeBron James wins his first title. Now, LeBron, even though I don't like that he plays for the Lakers, I mean, I still respect LeBron. He's still one of my favorite players that doesn't play for the Mavericks. And, I mean, I've been rooting for LeBron since he got drafted in 2003. So, when he won his first championship in the 2011-12 season, I was happy for him. They weren't playing my Mavericks, so I had no reason to root against them. It was the Heat versus the Thunder. LeBron, best player in the league, still yearning for that ring, and he finally winning that ring. It helped him start his legacy. Cause see, a lot of people say, "Oh, he's not better than Jordan. He's not the GOAT." Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, I agree. He may not be the greatest basketball player of all time, but he's one of the top 5 basketball players of all time. I mean, he did, like I said, he won his first championship in 2011-12. He's won 3 overall. He was the finals MVP all 3 times his teams won the championship. He's been in the All-Star game every year since his 2nd year in the NBA. LeBron is definitely one of the top 5 players of all time, whether you want to admit it or not. But I'm not going to jump into that discussion right now. That's not the point of this podcast. Let me move on. Number 6, Dirk Nowitzki retired. Now, if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. Reason being is because Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk was the reason why I got back into basketball. After Jordan retired from the Bulls the second time around, I kind of lost my interest in basketball. But after seeing Dirk Nowitzki played, I got interested in the NBA again and became a Mavericks fan because of Dirk. Dirk, it's going to be weird not seeing Dirk out there on the court, but the Dallas Mavericks are in good hands. We got Luka Doncic now, who is our LeBron, and Kristaps Porzingis is his Dwayne Wade. You know, we just need a couple more pieces and we'll be a championship contender. But anyways, Dirk retiring, big moment because he spent all 21 of his NBA seasons with the Mavericks, and he finished 6th all time in scoring. Number 5, Kentucky defeated Penn State in the Citrus Bowl. The reason why this is significant is because Kentucky finished the 2018 season 10-3. They beat Penn State, who historically is a football powerhouse, in the Citrus Bowl. The 10 wins that we won in 2018 was the most wins we had since 1976, I believe, or 77, one of those years. That win was crucial because it helped turn Kentucky into a respectable football program, a program that you can't really overlook anymore. I mean, had Terry Wilson not got hurt, we probably would have went 10-3 again this year, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what will happen next year. All right. Number 4, the Cubs win the 2016 World Series. Now, not really. Baseball isn't my favorite sport. I watch it, but the only time I really pay attention to baseball is opening night, All-Star Weekend, and the playoffs. Now, the Cubs, I mean, as everyone knows, the Cubs, before they won the World Series in 2016, it had been 100+ years since the Cubs last won a World Series. So for them to win this World Series was significant because it's been 100+ years since they won one. The Chicago Cubs have been suffering for a long time. Cub fans, excuse me. So this was a great moment for all Chicago sports fans. I was happy for them. Now, I mean, my favorite baseball team is the Phillies. I mean, we haven't had anything to celebrate in the 2010s, but seeing the Cubs win the World Series was great for all baseball fans. I mean, unless you're a Cardinals fan and St. Louis Cardinals fan, yeah, you probably were hating it. But anyways, that was my number 4. Number 3, the Cleveland Cavaliers won the 2016 NBA Finals. Now, this is significant because no team, I repeat, no team has ever won the NBA Finals after trailing 3-1. That comeback was historic. LeBron played out of his mind. I believe he averaged a triple-double for the whole series. He led both teams in all the major stats: points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. He had the block on Iguodala. Kyrie Irving hit the big shot. LeBron hit one of his 2 free throws to seal the deal in Game 7. That will forever be one of the biggest moments in sports history. But it might not be the greatest moment in sports history, but for the city of Cleveland, yeah, that might just be their greatest moment in sports history. Unless the Browns win the Super Bowl soon, I don't think anything will top that. Number 2, Dallas Mavericks win the 2011 NBA Finals. Now, that's significant because my Mavericks were an underdog. Everybody thought the Heat was going to sweep the Mavericks. Braun, Wade, and Bosh all in their prime. Only thing Dallas had was Dirk Nowitzki and a bunch of old, out-of-prime players. But Dirk played out of his mind in those finals. He dominated Bosh. He dominated LeBron and Wade. It didn't matter who they put on Dirk. Dirk did his thing. He won Finals MVP, deservedly so. Dirk led us to our first NBA Finals victory. Should have been our second. Miami cheated us and beat the Mavericks in the 06 Finals, but that was 2 decades ago. 2011, though, we got our revenge. Dirk Nowitzki won his first and only championship, but he worked hard for it. It was well deserved, and it'll forever be one of the biggest moments in sports history. Well, in my opinion, at least. And number 1, the biggest sports moment of the 2010s decade, Kentucky Wildcats win the 2012 NCAA championship. Now, this is significant because I was a senior at the University of Kentucky the year that Kentucky won the championship. It was a great year. Like, we was clearly the best team in the country that year. We beat North Carolina in a classic. Anthony Davis had that block on John Henson that sealed the deal for us. Indiana beat us on their court and stormed the court, which that's their biggest win over the last decade because they put the damn win on a popcorn box. Like, come on, Indiana. You won 5 national championships and you're going to commemorate a damn regular season win on a popcorn box? And you made a shrine for the damn win? Like, it's funny. Yeah, we didn't win the SEC title that year, but hell, we steamrolled our way through the NCAA tournament. We beat Western. I wish we didn't have to play Western, but they were the first victims. Then we beat Iowa State. Then we beat Indiana. We got our payback against Indiana. Beat them in the Sweet 16. Then we beat Baylor. Beat Louisville in the Final Four. And then we went on to win the national championship against Kansas. Now, the crazy thing is, Anthony Davis only scored 6 points in that game. But he did have like 15 rebounds. I think he had like 5 assists and 6 blocks. Anthony Davis won Most Outstanding Player of the Final Four, as well as most of the National Player of the Year awards that year. Then he went on to become the #1 pick in the NBA. He's now the best big man in the NBA and potentially could win his first ring this year. But that 2012 national championship for the Kentucky Wildcats, in my opinion, is the greatest sports moment of the 2010s decade. There you have it. There's my countdown. Feel free to share yours because I'm interested to hear what y'all have to say, what y'all's biggest sports moments are. I'm Deshaun. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Be on the lookout next week for my next podcast.